Alright, okay, trying to, don't know if anybody's on here. I'm messing with the live, just trying to see if this actually works. Music, cameras, let's see the camera. Okay, I think we're live. Just an impromptu live thing, trying to see how I can make this work. Don't mind me if this is a mess. I'm still trying to get this to work here. Okay, let's see how this works, if this works at all. Okay, let's see how this works, if this works at all. Okay, let's see how this works, if this works at all. Oops. Guys, if you're watching, I'm just about to start working on. Screwed up again. Just about to start working on. Let me just kill the volume on that. I am just about to start working on the Bandai blockade runner that I've been working on the last few episodes in the series, and just thought I would let you guys see what I'm up to and do this live. We're doing it live. Not really sure if I'm doing this correctly, but hold on. Let me just adjust this here. And the orientation of my camera is incorrect. Let's see. Rotate the device back. Okay, guys, I'm still I'm working this out, guys. That is not the way I want this. Orientation is locked. Rotate the device back. Hi, Cupcake Cookie. Oh, hold on. Something is, I'm screwing something up here, guys. Hi, Cupcake Cookie. There we go. All right. That's cleared up. What are you doing? I am working on the Bandai. Can I zoom in here and give you guys a better look and then aim the camera this way? I think I can do that. This is my first time doing this, well, not my first time, but I've done it a few. Okay, here we go. I'm working on the Bandai blockade runner, and I'm going to be doing some painting. Cool, I'm the only one on here in this. Okay. A couple Cookie YouTube Shorts. Okay, do you have an online store? No, I do not have an online store. Oops. Okay, cancel that. Be careful. Skunky the Hedgehog, hello. Cupcake Cookie YouTube Shorts. All right, I'm just messing with the live thing here because I want to see if I can actually do this where it makes any sense. Okay, Caretaker 07, hi. You can just say Cupcake Cookie. Okay, all right, Cupcake Cookie. I'll just say Cupcake Cookie. Skunky the Hedgehog, it's a rebel ship. Yes, it is. It's the Bandai blockade runner, 1/1000 scale. Caretaker 07, like and sub. Oh, thanks for subbing, Caretaker 007. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of painting here. I'm going to be, am I still, I'm still on, yeah. I'm going to be doing a little painting, a little weathering. I don't know if you guys have watched the series on this build where I have been going through the entire build one step at a time. And this thing has lights in it. It's got about 12 LED lights in it. And right now I'm in the middle of all the weathering and painting, which is not the most exciting thing in the world, but I enjoy it. So if you guys who don't know, let me tell you, run you through what I'm using. I've just recently started using the Mr. Weathering Color weathering paint. This stuff is really cool. It's actually oil based, oil paint, not acrylic or lacquer. At least I think it is. It's all in Japanese, so I'm just going with what I think it is. But it works really well, and when you use it with, where did I put that? There's solvent here. You can really get a lot of really nice effects with it, including all of the shadows and highs and lows and rust marks and everything that I have on here now. It's really easy to use. It's very forgiving, and I'm just gonna sit here and do a little bit of it, and I guess talk to you guys while I'm doing it. So let me just get started here. I'm using Stain Brown is the primary color that I've used on most of this ship. And let me see if I can get you guys a better view of what I'm doing here. Oh, there we go. That brings it out a little bit. I'm looking at this on a little bit of a delay on my monitor, so things are no, went in too close. Oh, there we go. Screwed that up again. How was your day today? Mine's good. How was yours? Cupcake Cookie, my day was very, very busy. Was working all day and was doing nothing more than looking forward to coming here and work on the bench a little bit. Find it very relaxing. There we go. I think that gives you guys a better look at what I'm doing. So let's just mix this up a little bit. I have a little bit of the solvent in a small jar here that just enough for thinning out the paint as I'm using it. All right, so now I'll just walk you through this. And we have 2 people watching. All right, that's 2 people more than I expected. Considering that this is just an impromptu video. And I didn't announce it or anything like that. I decided I'm going to try this live thing here. I think I did a live broadcast once before from a car show or something, but that was a long time ago. So I wasn't really sure if I'd be able to get this to work right here. But it seems to be working. Okay, I have one very small brush. You guys can see that there. And one, what size is this brush? Okay, this is an 18. And this one, no, 18-0, 18, no, that 18-0. No, that's not the size. Okay, honestly, guys, I don't know what size these brushes are. One is just very tiny, and one isn't. As you can tell, I'm not a professional at this broadcasting thing. So let's just mix this up, and then we're going to go and start doing some weathering. All right, Cupcake Cookie. So tell me a little bit about who is Cupcake Cookie. Is that, what's with the name? I'm curious. All right, so basically we just take a dab of the paint. I use the cap as my little paint holder or palette, whatever you want to call it. And then what I like to do is I just dab a little bit of the paint wherever I think rust might build up. You know, there's going to be some in the deep recesses. And here on the edges, around all of the panel gaps. And we're just going to walk it around the panel lines. You don't need a lot. And then once we get some nice sized drops in there, then we're going to play with it. And you guys are going to see how we can get the effect that we're going for. I'm going for a very, very weathered look. An extremely weathered look. Now, once I do that, I'll take the brush, I'll dunk it in the thinner, and that now we're going to start working the drops of paint that we just put in there. We're going to work it around the seams, and we're going to use it to make sort of a wash, but we're not going to put the wash over everything, as we want some areas to remain light and some to remain dark. Again, I haven't done this very often, so we're all kind of learning it together. But you can see how once we start blending it in, and we'll use the thinner just to spread the rust around. And we're going to leave some dark spots. And then we're going to try and, well, for my purposes, I'm going to try and just lighten up certain areas. And I don't want the ship completely rusted. I just want it to look kind of old and weather beaten. And then a lot of people say, well, you know, their spaceships are in space. There's no weather out in space. Well, that is true. But these ships also land. And that's where the rust comes from. Now, the one thing about the this oil paint is that the thinner reactivates it even after you've painted it. So it really gives you a almost unlimited working potential. Okay, I'm kind of liking the way that's looking there. And you just want it to look as natural as you can, while also keeping in mind that it's got to match the rest of the ship. So you can't really go too heavy in one spot, or it won't match what you have going on in the rest of the ship. I just uploaded a video in this series where I go over all of this, but I was watching the video earlier just to see how it came out, and the video quality wasn't really up to what I wanted. So I figured I'd just do this impromptu little live stream here to show you guys what it was that I meant to show you in the video. So there we have. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to work this here. Oh, your uncle also builds Cupcake Cookie? Your uncle also builds scale models? That's actually pretty cool. You are glitch. I'm not really sure I understand what that means. There we go. You see how we are getting our rust building up only in the areas where we want to show where dirt, grime might have built up and really made a mess of the ship. I mean, but it is a rebel ship. You know, the Alliance can't afford, doesn't really have the luxury of being able to wash and maintain their ships to keep them looking like looking brand new. See how many people we have. Oh, we got 3 people watching now. There we go. And you can see here how we just went ahead and made and finished this section off. I'm happy with the way that looks, because it really does match the rest of the ship here, and the tone is very even going all the way around. Well, we'll have a little bit of darks. You have our darks here to highlight our shapes and bring shadows to it. All of our panel lining and everything that we put in here really does bring all of those details out. If you guys want to see how this model began, you can do it on the channel. I've got the entire series. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And if you haven't, it's a really fun build so far. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with this. The Bandai kits are tiny, but they're really a lot of fun to work with. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing here. And now we're just going to play with a few drops of paint that we've put on the model. And that's going to allow the paint to... Using capillary action, it's going to soak into the details. And the rest of it that sits on top, we're going to use just to add the dirty look. And then we can just adjust the look using the thinner. I go into each and every little panel individually because I want them all to be uniformly worn. You know, you don't want one panel to be, you don't want one area of the ship to have a really super intense amount of rust, and then the rest of the ship just looks okay. Now, just a little disclaimer, I'm a Star Trek guy, not a Star Wars guy. But I do really like the aesthetics of Star Wars, the dirty, used look of their universe. Star Trek can sometimes just be a little too clean. And the weathering, it's a lot more fun and gives you a lot more chance to play with different techniques doing Star Wars ships than you get with Star Trek ships. Much as I love my Federation starships, they really Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica really gives you the opportunity to play with weathering techniques. See, like, I'm really happy with the way that looks there. Oh yeah, I am very happy with the way that looks there. I've got some really good rust showing here and here. I am very happy with the way that looks. So we're going to just tone down a little bit of rust here. And we're going to clean that up a little bit more. Oh yeah, I am happy with that. That that is definitely working for me. Let me see if I can give you guys a really close-up look at what we just did here. Let's see if the camera can focus. Let's see if we can. Come on. Really want to give you guys a good, sharp look at this. I do think that's the best we're going to get out of this. I promise the next time I do a live stream, I'll have this a little better figured out. But this is kind of why I'm doing this now. It's just to try and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with this live stream. But I hope you guys can see that there. And you can see how it's changed the entire tone of that section of the ship. And we're just going to continue to do that until we have the entire ship done. Still trying to get this let me just move some things around here to see if I can give you guys a better look at everything. Let's see, and if we do that and we do that, that might be a little better for you. Hey, 4 likes. Well, thanks, guys. Okay. Let's see if this is if this works better this way. And maybe if I turn this way, we'll get a better look at what I'm doing here. Don't worry, guys, I'll have this all figured out in time for my next live stream. Me too, I'm a Star Wars guy. Basically, girl. Okay, Cupcake Cookie, so I'm gonna guess you're a girl. But it doesn't really matter. It's guy, girl. All you gotta be is a fan. Alright. So being another Star Wars fan, you know exactly what ship this is. This is a Corellian C-90 Corvette in Star Wars lingo. Alright, that section is done. Now we're going to work on this next section. Alright, here. We start at the edges, following the panel lines, going deep into the recesses, as that's where we are going to get our rust buildup, like I said before. There we go. There we go. So, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? Uh, Cupcake Cookie? There we go. We're gonna keep just adding drops of paint there. All right, now we're back to our thinner. No, that's it. All right, we got 3 people watching now. Cool. There we go. Let's clean that up a little bit. And we're going to clean up the center here a little bit. And then we're going to take some of this away, as that was way too much there. And we're going to take away some of what's here. Alright, that is, oops, went into the wrong pot. So, anybody who's watching, what are you guys working on? If you're working on anything. Lighten this up right here a little bit. Alright, very happy with the way that's looking. Alright, let's lighten that up. There we go. That is looking very cool. Very, very cool. Very happy with the way that's turning out. This spot here I'm not crazy about, so we're just going to come back and work on that. Again, like I said, these oil paints are extremely forgiving, and you have plenty of time to work with them. So if something doesn't look exactly how you want, don't panic. It's going to be easy enough to go back in and just play with the paint till you get what you're looking for. And there we go. That is pretty much what I was looking for there. And that section is done. Now we're going to go into this section here. This is a very time-consuming exercise. I do find it, like I said, to be quite relaxing and enjoyable. And then we're going to cover all the edges here. Okay, and now we're going to go back in and do our thing. Just clean the brush off a little bit. Now I'm looking to make this, I don't know if I would, the best way I can find to describe it is I'm looking to add weight to this ship based on all of this that I'm doing here. In which case, I want it to look like it's heavy. And that is a good way to do that is with all of this detailing, so you make it look like there's mass to the ship. So I used a Q-tip to soak up some of the excess thinner to make it a little easier to clean up these panels when I want to lighten them up. There we go. Happy with that there. I don't normally do this live streaming, but I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Max's Models, and he does a live stream every Saturday. So I figured, what the heck? I'm gonna be on the bench working anyway, so why not just see if I can throw a little live stream action together and see what happens. All right, very cool. I'm very happy with that. Now we gotta clean up this area here. Now you see here, this was previously painted, and I should be able to work it right out just using the thinner. Because I really don't want that blotch there. And yeah, it's going. That may have been from a few days ago, so it's going to take a little more effort to work it down. Mm. Yeah, soil paint gives you a lot of working time, but it doesn't give you forever. Eventually it is going to dry, and it looks like it's dried right there. So the best thing about all of this weathering is that even if you make a mistake, you really can't make a mistake, because basically you're making the ship look old and beaten up. So what's better than that, than having little stains and whatnot all around the ship? There we go. That adds a little bit there. Now we're going to start cleaning it up. Okay, not too crazy about the way that part, the way that one came out. And you need a little more of a darker rust around there. And there we go. That's a little more like what I'm looking for. And that part of the ship was looking just a little too brownish and a little darker than the rest of the ship. So I wasn't really looking for that there. But I think that is going to work out just fine there. Never mind that beeping. That's my. Uh huh. And what tile? Really? Oh crap. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can turn off those notifications. That's just really annoying. Notifications. Excuse me just a second, guys, while I turn off the notifications for all of my there we go. Let's turn that off. Okay. It should be a little less annoying, all these beeps. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna do a little bit of darker rust, like a chipping effect. There and there. Something that you do is then you just touch those drops of paint with the brush, and it causes them to spread out. Lightens it up, and also causes them to spread out a little bit, which really gives you a really nice effect. And then I find that sometimes if I don't like it at first, I just keep working it, and eventually it becomes something that I do like, both color-wise, consistency-wise, and where the spots stay. Okay, I think I'm going to like that just the way it is. We may come back and revisit that. Not sure yet. Okay, now we're going to do a wash over the engine. First, let's just clean all of this up. Find that even if you have paint on, you give it a nice amount of the paint, and then you hit it with a good amount of the thinner. It'll give you just the same effect that I'm going for here. So now I'm just going to put a wash over the whole thing. Going to clean the brush off. And then we're just going to wipe and get rid of as much of it as we can while leaving just in the edges. Yeah, it's just live streaming the painting. That's right there in the kitchen next to the right next to the dog bowl. Oh, we don't have any of those more of those tiles, do we?
I thought we did somewhere. I gotta check. I know he definitely left some.
Now we're going to try and clean up everything except around the raised edges of the details so that we can have the details stand out. Go back and touch up some areas we may have missed. Now we'll grab some of the darker paint and we'll run it through just to make sure we get into all of the recesses so that it highlights all of the details. Now we may have to go in and hit it with a little more panel liner. We need a fresh amount of paint in here. Now it is a little bit of a pain working through all of this with these wires in the way. to add a little more solvent in here, as we're having a little more paint than solvent in here now. So everything's coming out with a brownish tint, which is what we don't want. There we go. That'll carry us through the rest of this build. There we go. And that's getting me what I want. Basically, that's what I needed was some fresh supply of solvent. So, learn from my mistakes. There we go. I'm much happier with that. Now we'll clean this up a bit. And we'll lighten this up a bit. There we go. Okay. I'm happy with all of that now. Some paint. Trying something a little different as I'm putting the thinner on first and then running the paint over it. Just to see what kind of effect that gives me. Which seems to be working pretty cool. Just clean the brush off now, so that we can lighten this up a little bit here. Yes, that seems to have worked very well. Kind of digging that strategy. So we're going to try the same thing here. Yes, oops. Add a little more color to that. Just to kind of even it up with the other engines. Okay, there we go. And just a touch more color to that. putty out of the way. I'm keeping that in there so that I don't paint over the LEDs. Alright, there we go. That's looking pretty good there. Just lighten this up a little bit. And that is looking pretty good. Alright, that's another engine down. Ah, 3 people still sticking with me. Well, glad to have you guys here. Didn't know how many people would actually want to watch this. Okay, that is another engine down. Now let's just see if we can clean up on the piping here. Still debating as to whether I should, use some metallics on this piping, but the ship in the movie doesn't have any sort of coloring. It's all white. And I'm already diverging from the whiteness by using this brown tint to the body just to, like I said, give it a little color, add a little weight to it. Just to make it a little more visually interesting, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, you guys may hate it. I don't know. But I kind of like the way it looks. I mean, if we take a good look at it here, I mean, this thing just tells a story as opposed to just being stark white, where there's really nothing new to learn. But every direction, everywhere you look at this, every angle, there's something new to see on an old beat-up cruiser like this. And I just think that that's the cool part of the whole thing, is creating a story for the model to tell whenever someone looks at it. This thing could have been through a million battles against the Empire. Just barely getting by, scraping by the skin of their teeth. And, like I said, I think it just tells more of a story this way than it does if it's just straight up painted like it was in the movie. Okay, that engine's done. Now, when you're going to do something like this, you always got to remember to gloss coat the model first. Because this is what allows the paint to flow smoothly over the model and soak only into the recesses. Now the harder shadows I've created by using Tamiya panel liner paint right after I painted the body. I mean, it's all in my video. You guys should really go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But I don't know. Maybe I'll make this live model building a regular thing. Oops, I screwed something up here. What did I do here? Oh, hey. Oh, there's all sorts of. Oh, sorry guys, I haven't been watching the comments. Basically, girl Kevin Smith. What's up, Onyx and Company? Hey, what's up, Kevin? Hello from Akron, Ohio. Well, hello from New Jersey. That doesn't look like a Fiero. That's because it's not. It's the Bandai Blockade Runner. It is live. No, Kevin, it is live. It is live. Yes, it is. Sorry, I haven't been seeing the comments. I was concentrating on the painting and I almost kind of forgot. Show some of your car builds, please. I would be happy to show you some. Just of Got Fuels. Got Fuels was on. Oh, I didn't realize I would have jumped on his live screen. On his live stream. Um, yeah, I'd be glad to show some of my car models. I mean, I was thinking of maybe making this a regular thing, this live streaming. Um, I go on Got Fuels. I've been on there often enough, and I like interacting with you guys. So I might make this a regular thing. But I really just wanted to jump on here and see what happens if I do a live stream. I mean, if you guys like it, I'll do it again. Yep, you're right. It is fun. And this build, I don't know if you've been following this. You're more of a car guy, aren't you, Kevin? Okay, so let's make sure that that's in there nice and tight, and that is. That should be a little bit tighter in there. Can't build any more furniture. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But at least you can still take part in the hobby. It's cool that you go on the live streams and join us on this stuff. You can still enjoy the hobby even if you can't partake in it as much. Oh, well, if you build planes, this is not that far off from doing an airplane. There's tons of detail work that needs to get done, all sorts of weathering. as you can tell, because that's all that I've been doing right now. And I love weathering. I did a some of the Japanese mechs, and I really liked doing the weathering on that. Don't get me wrong, I love building cars, and I'm definitely going to be doing more cars on the channel. But I'm going to be mixing that in with. Oh, Kevin, you know that if have you tried building some of the larger scale stuff? Maybe that would be more of what you might like. You might be able to do if you can't do the smaller scale stuff. And I agree with that. It is fun watching people build. I watch build videos all the time myself. Matter of fact, watching a lot of the build videos is where I learned to do a lot of this stuff here. I've got a few channels that I watch on a regular basis. Where I've learned about, a lot of this stuff like this weathering. Sometimes it's good where you can just build, not even worried about how it's going to turn out, just for the enjoyment of watching it come together. I mean, that's a way. That's kind of how I look at it. I sometimes I just sit down and I don't even know what I'm going to build or how it's going to come out. I just kind of do it just to go through the process of putting something together. And I'm sure you've built some pretty cool stuff then if you've been building for over 50 years. Oh, that's 63 years young, Kevin. I don't know if you've seen a lot of my videos. I mean, on most of every build that I do, I post really in-depth build videos, just showing how I do everything. I take every build step by step, and I bring the viewer along. Showing how I do everything that I do. Oh, you're showing your stuff on Brian's lives? Oh, I wonder if I've seen it. Oh yeah, that's coming out exactly the way I like. You've been in Scale Auto. Wow, that is cool. That's something I can only hope to one day uh, be able to say. I would love to get one of my car builds featured in Scale Auto magazine. But I don't think I'm there yet, but it's still a dream at one point. I'm a little too dark there. Let's lighten that up. Wow, you're like model building big time. I'm just a rank amateur compared to that. got that. Now we're gonna lighten up some stuff here. It is very cool getting into magazines. I got a buddy of mine who's been in quite a few of them. Like I said, I hope that one day I'm going to reach that level where they'll want to have me in one of the magazines. I don't think I'm quite there yet, as I've only recently, in the last couple of years, started building again. I had stopped for quite a while because life. And it's because of COVID that I got back into it. And all the lockdowns and nothing to do, so I started building again. And then I realized how much I really love the hobby. And I haven't stopped since. Oh, well, thanks, Kev. Honestly, I've learned a lot from the guys on YouTube on by watching their builds. But after I got into the hobby, I just haven't been able to stop. And it's one of the things that I really enjoy doing now on a regular basis. Now I'm really trying to get this thing's paint because there's another paint effect that I want to do on the rear of the engines. And I do believe that I'm going to leave the engines right there. No, and add a little bit more. There we go. Nice little bit of rust buildup there. And there, that's good right there. I like that little corner there. I mean, this is just so much fun to do. I know I can get a little carried away with it. Let's just make sure I didn't miss any spots that I will want to come back to here. I'm gonna have to give a little bit of dressing up to this edge here. Okay, let's get a little bit there. So I'm gonna get a little more color in there. And then went a little heavier than I wanted to here. So we're gonna lighten some of that up. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That is exactly what I'm looking for right there. Let's go with a little bit of that in here. Because we really, really want to highlight the details in here. So the whole thing about this is you put in enough so that you can take some away and just leave all of the details out in the open. And that looks much, much better, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right there. So now we're going to do the same thing right here. Just going to wash over the details, really bring them out. Really just bringing out all of that, all of those hidden gems that Bandai has put into this model. And I do mean hidden gems because all of these little details just really just look fantastic. Alright, so now that we've done that, now time to take some away. There we go. Just take away just enough to show these details without taking the all of the color off. and just keep it looking dirty. Especially these inboard ships, engines that look like they should be much dirtier because they're surrounded by nothing more than other engines. Very nice. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. One more to go. And there we go. I am very, very happy with the way that is looking. Wish I could give you a better look at it. That's going to have to wait for my next video because this camera is just going to be, I mean, this is about as good as the image is going to get from this camera. You're going to have to step up my game if I'm going to live stream. But there we go. That's the top half of the ship there. At the side, and at the bottom. She's really, really coming together nicely. Okay, that's done. That's done. I gotta put a little bit more on this side here. Then we have to work on this portion of the ship, and then we'll be pretty much done with all of the weathering on this ship. One thing I do want to mention is I love this coloring here. This is the Citadel paints. This is paints that are used primarily for Warhammer gaming, and it's a fantastically really heavy pigmented paint that just brushes on beautifully and just gives you a really nice metallic shine. I am really happy that I decided to put that on there. So there we go. This part of the ship is done. Let me just make it give it a once over, make sure I'm not missing any spots. No, I do believe that that is all she wrote. All right. Now we're going to get a little busy with the front of the ship. And getting that all painted up. Then we will be installing the final remaining parts. We'll be working on the base. And we'll be done with this, and then we're back on the Thunderbird build, which I really want to get back to. I picked up a whole bunch of stuff for adding the lights and sound effects. Oh, and this one's also getting sound. The bass is going to be getting a. Let me get this out of here. That reflection is making what's hurting the camera view. Let's see. I can zoom this in a little bit. A little too much. Whoa, that a little too far out. All right, we're right back where we started. Maybe a little bit closer than I want to be. No, I think that'll work. The Monogram DC-7 American airliner. Wow, 7 sheets of bare metal foil. Holy mackerel. You must have foiled the entire airplane. I'm sure that was a pretty interesting experience. Let me try lightening this up just a little bit on the edges here. There we go. Wow, now I'm sure that thing is amazing to see. Was that one of the builds that got you into the magazines, Kevin? Oh, so I bet that's a really special build for you then. Okay. There we go. I'm a little bit happier with that. Lightening that up a little bit. Gave it a little bit of a tonal difference that I like. And also makes the piping there show out a little bit better. And speaking of lightening up stuff, let me just go over these pipes here. I want to just bring them out a little bit more. There we go. I like that a little bit better. Okay. Let's get to work on this section here. Okay, we're going to... first thing we're going to do is need a little more paint in our cup. Now once everything is all set and completely dry, it's going to get a full flat coat. Wow, that's very cool. Wow, you did a few box art builds. That's very cool for AMT. Okay. Let's get this nice little wash over that way. We didn't pay well, but it was cool for the experience. I would love to have that experience. I mean, that just means that they recognized your ability and your talent, which is a very, very cool thing. Let's lighten this up a little bit. There you go. Lighten that up a little bit on the surface while leaving all of the lower coloring intact. Let's get all the excess paint off of the brush. And now we work only with the thinner. There we go. Right, working only with the thinner, we're removing all of the excess and leaving only what's in the recesses. Which is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, I'm happy with that part. Now we're just going to soak into the panel lines here. it's time to play with the thinner again. Alright, that's what I'm looking for right there. For a model like this, it's really helpful to have a couple of different size brushes and these little tiny brush, which really helps you to get into a whole lot of spaces. I'm really enjoying all of this weathering. And now I'm working with just tiny little points of color, or non-color, or thinner, or whatever you want to call it, just to get the effects that I'm looking for on each little tiny section of the ship. There are certain areas that you don't want to have too much of the rust color. It just starts to look like it's muddy instead of rusty. That's why you want the rust. A light coating of the rust color on the body, and then a bit of it on in the panel lines themselves. Ever been to NNL East? Always went. Yes, I was at NNL East just this past April. We have the IPMS show and the NNL East show in the same location here every April. And it's the first time I'd ever shown my work publicly. And I met a whole bunch of the really great YouTube community out there, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Yes, this year was my second year in a row. My second year ever, and I really enjoyed it. It was really a great experience. I managed to meet the two of my favorite YouTube stars. I haven't been to that for fun times. Plan on going to Akron show in October. Oh, I wish I could get away for that. But October is usually a very busy time for me. As far as doing different things, oh, James Chester, I didn't. I've met James Chester. Very nice guy. I love his channel. I love the work he does. I met him for the I actually got a chance to talk to him for the first time this year. Dylan, I've met briefly at some of the other shows. Actually, at the NNL East, he was out there. I'd like to start going to some of the other shows around the country as I have time. I'm really trying to get the channel to grow, and that's a great way to get out the word of the channel and meet some new people. And just get to know more people in the hobby. Okay, looks like we have a little bit too much here on the neck. So let's get to cleaning some of that up. Okay. Oh, it's very cool that you guys are putting on the show yourselves. Not much of a modeling community out by me. Now, while I love the NNL shows, I find that since I'm into all different genres of model building, I kind of like the IPMS shows better because I get to see so much work from some really amazing builders. Um, Not all centered around cars, but I mean their aircraft builders are just amazing. I mean I have never seen the models as well detailed as what I have at those at the IPMS show. When I look at some of the planes on there, I'm blown away by how detailed some of these guys get. Yeah, the NNL shows are very non-competitive, which is one of the things I do like about them. As they do give out awards, but it's not a contest-driven uh, show like the IPMSs. The reason I like the IPMS shows are mostly because of the fact that I get to see so many different genres of model building, and I'm into Gundams, the Japanese animation stuff, sci-fi builds, as well as cars, and it's really cool to see some of the stuff that they come up with. And the military builds are also amazing. I've seen some dioramas on the military builders that have just completely blown me away. You know, when it comes for the car stuff, the NNL is hard to beat. But for all the rest of it, I'm blown away by the IPMS shows. My cars have actually done very well at the IPMS shows. I've won in many of their categories, and I'm not really a contest guy because I look at my stuff and I'm like, there's no way I'm as good as some of the guys that I've seen on there. So I go primarily just for the chance to share my love of the hobby with other people who feel the same way. And at the NNL shows and at the IPMS show, I've met such really cool people, and that's what Even though I am not in an area that is really geared toward this hobby, just those fruits and the once a year that I can go and talk to people who love this as much as I do is really makes it worthwhile for me. Okay, I do believe that I am finished. Oh, no, no, no. I found a spot there that could use a little bit of attention. There we go. Now let's just clean off the brush. clean up our spot here. Yeah, box stock is very tough. For me, it's just tough to build box stock. I just can't resist the urge to change things. You know, James Testers, he does box stock and he does amazing with that, and I just don't think that I can do what he does because oh, okay, so you're big into the box stock also. I have really tried, and it just I just can't resist the urge to change things. So every time I try to build box stock, I fail. Okay, I do believe that I am happy with that now. Now let me clean this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I do believe I am done, whoops, with the paint work on this one. Actually, I want to brighten up the bridge a little bit more. Ooh, that's not brighting. There we go, and that pretty much takes care of that. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. That's Maddox the model mutt, or model puppy. My little guy there having fun yipping and yapping away. He's with his mama. What power source are you going to use? I'm going to use the coin cell batteries. I think they're 2032s to power the lights in the Thunderbird build. I have a Bluetooth I have a Bluetooth adapter attached to the base, which is going to be, which in which case I'm going to be able to stream sound effects and music to the model from my phone while it's at the show on display. Which should make the same thing I'm planning on doing with this one. I'm going to install a Bluetooth puck into the base and attach a speaker to it, so that way it'll also have um, sound to go along with the model presentation. That should work out pretty cool. Alright, so now the body is, the ship is pretty much done with the painting, except for a few of the pieces which are still, which I still haven't put on. This radar conning tower. As you can see here, you see that radar dish? That's the original color of the ship when I started. That very light gray, and I just thought it was just not interesting enough. So now it's time to add these details and dress them up as well. The first thing I'm going to do is take me a panel liner and put a bit of that in this antenna. Just to bring out all the details. There we go. That's what I want. There we go. There, I don't know if you can see that. Just brought all of the details out. It's like, boom, I am here. All the details. Now we're going to do the same on the back.
This is a reminder.
Let me just...
Onyx, don't forget to lock the latch.
So that Alexa doesn't interfere. Alright, so that's good for adding the details there. So I'm gonna let that dry. Like, see me with the lights. I'm not sure I'm familiar with see me. Alright, now we have the lower guns, which will go here. Be careful. Right there, and seated fully. And I think that is all the way in, is it? Oh, be careful, I'm pressing on the other guns. Yep, I think that's all the way in. Don't want to force that too much. Alright, now we'll put a little bit of panel liner on this. The wires keep getting in the way. Okay, let's just clean up the. A bit more panel liner on there than I wanted to. So that one's a bit darker than the other one. Not really a major problem, as we can just say that this gun was seeing a little more action than the other one. That's the beauty of these things. It can be whatever you want it to be. Okay, just clean this up a little bit more. Alright, there we go. Much happier with that. Alright, so all the parts are on except for one more piece that I have to repaint because I missed one detail. And this is going to have to be left to dry completely before I attempt to put the wash over it. Alright, Kevin. It's been fun hanging out with you, dude. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. Good night. Ah, three people watching? Alright. Well, guys, this is pretty much the entire finished ship. Alright, what? Am I in the camera? I wish I could get it focused properly. But this is the ship. All done up. I mean, how cool is that? Look at all the detail that shows up on this thing. This is just looks amazing. Okay, once everything is dry and I apply the final bit of weathering to the radar dish and the lower gun, then it's going to be a little bit of exhaust painting here. and then it'll be ready for a full flat coat over the entire body to seal everything up. But first I have to fix this side here, which I kind of goofed on. As you can see, that is not supposed to be painted all the way around, which is exactly what I did with this part. So I'm going to have to repaint these two little indents here, just so that they match what they're supposed to be. Not a big deal. Okay, I'm going to end this live stream right here. And guys, anybody, all the guys who hung out with me, I'm glad you decided to stick through my mess of a live stream. And I'll catch you on the next video, because there's still quite a bit more to do on this, and we're going to be building the base with this, with the audio attachments to it, and that's going to be very cool. Let's take one nice look at what all the work we've done tonight. Okay, guys, that's going to be it. I will catch you guys on the next one, if I can figure out how to sign off. All right, later, guys. How do I turn this off? Bye. If I can figure out how to stop this.